Now, when watching news on television, the viewer may not exactly know what is involved in the news gathering process.
In this week's episode of The Process, you will learn one or two things about the different stages of television news production, the tools of trade, and the profiles of key professionals involved in the process.
Nissie Imano with that story.
Television news production is a complex process in which different professionals and machines interact in order to bring the story alive. The first stage in the TV news production process is the pre-production. This stage involves general preparations, idea generation, and research.
As soon as I get to the office, you check the newsroom diary to see if there's a diary of events, like what is planned during the day, and if there are events to be covered maybe.
In this case, the news editor assigns the reporter the news story to execute for the day.
So what happens is you're given an assignment, you go for a brief at the editor's desk, basically telling you this is what's happening, the 5 W's and H, what is happening, where is it happening, who are the main speakers and everything, and possibly a number of questions that may help you do the story well.
He then goes to the head of electronic news gathering, who assigns a camera person to accompany him on the assignment. Once that is done, the reporter and the cameraman proceed to the parking lot for transport. Here, the necessary logistics have been coordinated by the logistic or assignment editor. The journey begins. Sometimes hitches happen. But nonetheless, the story must be told. Alternative plans are quickly put in place, and the crew is well on their way to execute the assignment. Once the reporter is on location and the setup is done, the actual shooting and recording begins. Once the guest has been interviewed, the reporter heads back to the newsroom and straight to the news editor for a debrief session.
So what is there? What is there?
After that, the reporter gets down to scripting the story. The script then goes to the editor for sub-editing. Here, the editor checks and corrects the script within context and writes necessary headlines and captions. The script can now go for translation to have it translated into Swahili for the purpose of the 7 p.m. Swahili Bulletin. And depending on the substance of the script, the editor can decide to make the news story a straight cut, requiring no voice-over, like in our case today. Or a package, meaning the reporter is expected to voice the script in the sound booth.
Speaking at a political rally in Bomet East constituency.
Once that is done, the reporter goes to the video edit suite, where he sits with a video editor to edit the story. Once done, the straight cut and the package are then sent to the transmission server. As the news presenter or anchor gets ready for the news bulletin, editors develop the running order, which is the lining up of the news items depending on the strength of the news of the day. This is done in consultation with the news producer on duty.
Before any production starts on the hour, we are the people who process the news before the bulletin starts.
I liaise with my editors on the desk. I follow up on the reporters in the field. I know who is where, doing what, and what story that is coming to us, so that we can include it in our running order. And is everything ready from the anchor, from the scripts, from the clips, so that you have our production.
Meanwhile, those in charge of news transmission studio are busy getting ready, headed by the news director.
Stand by. In 3, 2, 1, cut. On air.
Bila shaka ni fahari yetu kuwa hapa kukupasha yaliyojiri humu.
Generally, my work entails liaising with sub-editors, video editors, reporters, anchors in studio. So when I come here at the gallery, as you can see the backdrop of my background, my work entails coordinating with technical guys, making sure the sound is good of the anchor who's in studio. Lighting is perfect. And then my shots at studio, they have to be the correct shots that I want to use for it to go on air.
Kundi hilo kwa jina Hapo Vipi limesema ni muhimu kwa Rais Uhuru Kenyatta, naibu wake William Ruto na kiongozi wa.
And that is what is involved in TV news production.
As a national broadcaster, we here at KBC pride ourselves in being able to provide news that is fast, credible, it is factual, it is informative, and it is educative. Reporting from the KBC studios in Nairobi, I'm Nissie Imano.